The people, hi. I was wondering, I said, where are the people asking the questions?
On behalf of Cooper Hospital and Hindu Hriday Samrat Barasaheb Thackeray Medical College, I welcome all of you members of the press to our brand new hospital. A gestation period for a baby is 9 months, and it took all of 9 months only for Dean Sir to get this hospital started. I think we should give him a big hand because it's the first municipal medical college which has got ready in record time. And we are really grateful that Aishwarya Rai Bachchan today as the ambassador for the prevention of parent-to-child transmission of HIV from mother to child. We are really grateful she chose our hospital to come and visit. We are glad to say she has interacted with the patients, given them her time and made them very, very happy. Some patients were positive, some patients were negative, and we are happy that this program is helping those who are negative to stay negative. We have the dignitaries here with us, Dr. Keskar, who is Executive Health Officer, who has been constantly supporting maternal and child health. Thank you very much, madam, for taking the time to be here with us today. Dean Sir, Dr. Ramesh Chaturvedi needs no introduction, but I will say that he's the dynamo who has got Cooper off the ground. Dr. Moprekar, who is the medical superintendent with him, Dr. Ganesh Shinde, who is the head of Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology. Nandini, who has flown down from Delhi all the way, she's representing UNAIDS. Thank you all for being here with us today. And I'll hand over to Aishwarya, who needs no further introduction, to speak to you.
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, and unconventionally, but yet it's. I'm very, very happy to be here, to be spending this afternoon at the hospital, at Cooper Hospital. I've had the privilege of spending time with all the dignitaries here who have given me a real insight into the goings on and how the real work gets done on the ground, and that's always what it's all about. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to. Frankly, for me, I come away appreciating the work of, as I call them, the soldiers of the good work. I get the opportunity to sit here on a podium, have the mic in my face, and hopefully be the megaphone to their good work to a wider audience out there through you. So it's actually all extremely collaborative, but it's their good work, and I felt it was very, very important to laud the courage of all the women out there, and I'd equally give kudos to their family members, their husbands, who together with them take the brave step of coming forth and opening themselves up to the medical care that is accessible. And the key word here is the medical care is accessible, so come out and accept it, because there are tests there to help decrease the chances, if not completely stop the remote possibility of the transmission of HIV from mother to child, because the mother is actually carrying the fetus. But as I was given to recognize that now the term is parent to child transference, because obviously a child is conceived thanks to both members, the father and the mother, and hence it becomes the equal responsibility of both the parents, and hence we today recognize the term as parent to child transfer of HIV, and that is some thing that will constantly remain a cause for a constant need of attention. It's very gratifying to learn that there has been a huge percentage, because in this kind of work, when you hear of even a 45% decrease of cases, it's tremendous, and that takes a lot of constant work by all the people on the ground on a regular basis, because while it is extremely imperative for the pregnant lady to come and access the test within the first 12 weeks, preferably as per the requirement, the medical requirement, nevertheless, any time is a good time. You have to come in and get the test done, because then Like I said, there is medical help accessible, and the doctors can work with you to provide the adequate care to the fetus before the baby is born into this world. And the responsibility of the parents towards the child begins from conception. And that sense of responsibility, you know it when you conceive, and you have to exercise uh, that responsibility from the onset. So the medical care is there. People can access the help. So please come forth, take the tests, and accept the medical aid that exists. Thank you. And please, doc, please, ma'am.
What I would request is safe behavior is very important for control of HIV/AIDS, and each one has to maintain safe behavior and early diagnosis and early treatment. That is also very important. Shakti clinics are available. All the tests and counseling is confidential. All the medical aid is there. Please accept.
See, basically, madam,
I obviously asked a lot of questions on this, but since she actually brought it up, how, but does it take you bother you sometimes always being surrounded by so much cameras? And like,
No, it's a way of life. It's a way of life. So no, it obviously. It's a way of life. I mean, after so many years, I can't even be getting into that question and wondering whether, because this is my reality. So that's fine. But as long as you know, you have a bit of this, you have a bit of that. You have, sometimes it's a celebration. Sometimes it's an actual, whatever be a milestone that is spoken about. Sometimes it's frivolity, and sometimes it's very, very effective and responsible. So it's all a part of our life, but I'm glad that you all show equal interest, and I'm constantly thanking the media, because without you I cannot reach. I'm not on social media, so it's up to you guys to reach the millions of people out there through all your handles to be able to bring the attention and help spread the word. Now, if you speak to even one more individual on all your handles and everybody that's watching or listening, believe you me, it's effective work done. And days such as this, amongst the many days, whether they be festivals, whether create as human beings to celebrate or to remember or to commemorate, a World AIDS Day is equally important, because you're drawing attention to something that is a part of humanity. It's part of our reality. This exists in the world, and it does affect a lot of people, even if it's not necessarily directly touching your life. So just to talk about such an important going on in our world, it is a current affair. And once it has struck mankind, it will forever remain a current affair. Like I said, even upon reaching the zero, the aspiration of all our work here, once you hit ground zero in the work, and that will be a day to celebrate, but that is not having reached a destination alone, because of
A lot needs to be done.
it's humanity. People are constantly born into this world, and once this virus exists, it's going to require our cumulative effort for generations to come. So we all really need to keep up the work, spread the word, keep the attention and the communication relevant, and keep people informed. And that's where it's the joint effort and responsibility of you and us.
As a Goodwill ambassador, then I think it's I think there's a lot of responsibility, because I'm sure you also know a lot of statistics that kind of changes that you've seen. Would you like to elaborate on what like the kind of information that we had obviously in the past 3 years, the way people perceive this disease has changed so much because of a lot of revolution and of course information available.
Information and education. I think that's key to perception. That's key to recognition. That's key to attitude. And that is where communication comes in, because as long as we keep the communication ongoing, people will remain informed, people will remain educated, and thereby the perceived social stigma should definitely be pulled down, and people should be. I mean, that will be the day when the issues are more practically discussed, and I think that's when it becomes more effective. when you actually address it as something that needs attention and what's the action to follow. That's what I mean by practicality. That is when we can effectively do something about it. The moment you have the concerns of social stigma, of shame, of feeling um, basically feeling gagged, that you cannot actually speak and communicate. I think that is what we all are constantly working towards. Just dropping those, um, um, dare I say, veneers. Once those barriers disappear, work becomes more effective.
Have you seen a massive change or gradual change?
You're speaking to people who belong to a very, very urban social culture. So from our perception, we believe that yes, there has been a huge change, but we do at the same time know it's never enough. That's not enough. There's never enough change because, like I said, while the statistics do seem large, I always look at statistics a bit skeptically because that never is actually inclusive of genuinely every individual who exists down out there on the turf. So it's a broad perspective, and statistics are good to encourage the work on the ground. It's good to keep the momentum going, but it's not necessarily reflective of the actuals. And I think once you recognize that reality, I would believe that knowledge also should be enough to further accelerate or propel the effort to aspire people to get people to aspire to be a lot more out there and working even harder to try and reach niches that could not be reached before socially.
To anybody who would like to answer this question, there's along with the fact that you're physically, of course, going through a lot. The disease, obviously, everybody knows what happens. But I think even mentally, you kind of become in a space that you kind of lose hope. You feel that the world. Do you think that also plays a major factor? Because when they feel that the world has ended for them, and the will to fight kind of goes away. Have you seen how to deal with it? That's really important as well. You're saying, like, you see the families, people coming forward and working towards it, or how do you plan to help that?
I think if I may say that one of the things is to deal with the initial, which is self-stigma, I think you overcome that, and now if you're asking about change, the more people are coming out and talking about their status and the support from their families and friends, I think has made a huge difference. We still have a long, long way to go because stigma is not something, when you talk about stigma and discrimination, it is a mindset which takes time to change. But I think as we are seeing more and more people coming out openly about their status, living with HIV, and are actually our champions. So we are only working with them, but they are really the champions. So they are the voice and they are able to support people. So there are support groups. So we definitely see that change.
I think it's wonderful that that's why so much importance is laid on the workings of the counseling units, and they are key. They are key to a lot of the work that can be done in rehabilitation of spirit. I think once you have that in place, then you can actually give direction to the way forward. But that's why your question is very relevant, and that's where ma'am was talking about the Shakti units that exist as standalones and affiliates with maternity homes as well as the hospitals, and they are a very important cell in this entire process. So I'm glad you brought that up.
And also with treatment. With treatment available, more and more people will come out with their status because you can live healthy lives. If you're on regular treatment, good nutrition, family support, people are living healthy lives.
Okay, Aishwarya, was there any inspiration behind taking this initiative for spreading awareness regarding AIDS? Any story, any incident or anything?
Don't look at sensationalizing. I think what's important is just what's really happening all over the world. The United Nations had been communicating with me over a while, and for us to come on board together. There are lots of causes that need attention, but I was glad that at the time that I did join hands with the UN, it was with UNAIDS and on a platform such as this, because I do believe that I just wanted to help reach out to a lot of women and across the world, but largely even in our own country, because communication is key, and the more we encourage our social structure to allow people to communicate more openly, the more we'll be able to bring about effective change. So it's just a simple recognition of where society is at. It's important to look at it from the broad speak and not from only the cocoon of our urban culture, because that isn't reflective of the entire country. So we need to work at it together, and I thank you for being interested in all that I do and all that I work on across the board, be it in the glamour business or otherwise. And that's where I feel I can work with you. And probably that's the inspiration. So thank you for coming to wherever I go to, and I'm able to then do the effective work together. Thanks.
We have had few movies in the past which tried to, industry, Bollywood movies.
Okay.
Which try to, spread the.
That's all relative. Whether you want to make a movie on the subject or not, that's each creative individual's choice. But the fact is that all arms of media can be used and must be used for increasing communication. But having said that, it's their groundwork. I'll keep bringing it down to that. That's the real work being done, and you taking the time out to draw attention to that and report that is where people then will find the strength and the courage and the knowledge to know what's going on where and what help they can actually access.
Aishwarya, is there any not even a story?
Sound
Very
of
good,
disturb.
highs and lows in the life. Like you said, it's a very a moment where you experience total darkness, where you want to come out. Actually, even you had. Can you tell us one incident where you got strength and an inspiration story for all those who try to come out of situations like that?
Unfortunately, I think on this platform it can all get completely convoluted and people might get confused. So I don't think this is the platform on which I should be speaking about that. It just might get unnecessarily dramatized. No, you know what I'm trying to say? It's that it'll confuse the situation. So I'd rather the attention be drawn on what we've spoken about. And like I said, borrow the 5 minutes of your media time and air time for that to be really reflected. Yes? Thank you. Thank you all for your afternoon. Gee. Sorry, hi. Well, that's. I think y'all will.
He is the doctor, not from me.
Yeah, but that is
Surgeon.
something you will be able to comment on, having seen me over the years, and listen to me, I guess, on the media and seen my various interviews. But I think change is the only constant, no, in life. But it's natural that any experience will contribute to you being who you are. And I'm blessed to have had the experience of motherhood. Thank you. Yes. Absolutely. Thank you.
Do you recommend sex education in school? Because everything is connected to
Absolutely. And we have all had it actually in school, and it's probably, I don't know, that's important. I'd love to find out if that's happening across the board all over the nation. But definitely in urban culture, in our cities, a lot of schools definitely do have it, and I think yeah, please share.
In municipal schools, we are talking about sex education to the 8th and 9th children, and more if we talk, then discrimination will be less. So we should go for knowing the status, HIV status at early age, or especially if the behavior is high risk. In that case, knowing status is right of each and every person, and we should go ahead for sex education in the school. Municipal schools we are going, and even in the private schools we have taught the teachers so that they can carry this message to the younger generation later on. So it is ongoing procedure.
सब साथ में बैठे कि खड़े?